How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. With the season starting, 2020 will finally be behind us. A week from now, many tears of joy. It's been a tough year for many of us. Hope y'all staying safe out there. Some NBA teams might have to postpone games with the pandemic. Others will work around it. A few teams will be contending for a title. While some young squads hope to make the playoffs, here are the biggest questions for every NBA team heading into 2021. Starting in alphabetical order with the Atlanta Hawks, will their defense be good enough to help them get into the playoffs? The Hawks were an absolute travesty on D last season, one of the worst all time. New additions in Bogdanovic and Gallinari will certainly help Trae Young get his dimes. The team can score, especially with John Collins in for the year. Ranked 28 in defensive efficiency a season ago, they did sign forgotten point guard Chris Dunn, second in steals last season in under 25 minutes. Dunn, when healthy, more than capable of making a defensive team struggle on offense and lacks a jumper, but will be checking the opposing wing's best players. Capella in the interior with shot blocking, at least an upgrade, but will it be enough for the team to record a better record than either the Raptors, Bulls, or Wizards? Boston Celtics, what can Kemba Walker really provide in the postseason? We know the two best players on the team now, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Gordon Hayward's departure leaves a void to fill. Marcus Smart might arguably be more valuable than Kemba at this point. Walker struggled last postseason, outplayed by Kyle Lowry and Goran Dragic, not recovered to start the season with knee issues. 18 points a game on 42% shooting his last two rounds doesn't cut it. Terry Rozier looked better in the 2018 postseason than Walker did in 2020. Kemba needs to produce at the star level for Boston to truly contend. The Brooklyn Nets, will the franchise really trade for James Harden? Many questions regarding Durant and Kyrie, but both awesome without question. The team's role players Karis LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie, alongside perhaps Jared Allen, Taurean Prince, and a few picks, would make a fair deal for the 31-year-old Harden. But would it be risky to blow up their roster? Three superstars with no depth. Irving and Harden needs the ball in their hands. The team's loaded as it stands. The Charlotte Hornets, can LaMelo Ball actually produce right away? It could take some time for the 19-year-old to become an impactful player. A rough debut, 0 points, stuck with Gordon Hayward's contract. The team has good guards in Rozier and Graham. The question is, will Ball come off the bench the entire season in limited minutes, or is he actually going to perform and have a shot at Rookie of the Year? The Chicago Bulls, decide whether frontcourt Larry Markkinen and Wendell Carter remains. The rebuilding Bulls have been a joke of a franchise. After Jimmy Butler's departure, Chicago failed to get Markkinen a contract extension. Carter, on the other hand, a disappointing first two seasons, attempted just 5 shots in the first game of the year, played just 44 and 43 games the first 2 years, needs to be better, otherwise Zach LaVine will demand out. The Cleveland Cavaliers, what will they do with their vets? Big on bigs, Andre Drummond continues to waste years, put up empty stats on a bad team. Kevin Love with his bad contract, nobody wants him. JaVale McGee of all places ended up here, and Larry Nance Jr. can be an asset for a contender. Team still in rebuild mode with Garland and Sexton. Still interesting to see how the older guys respond and produce. The Dallas Mavericks, is Kristaps Porzingis a true reliable second option? Luka slowly taking over the NBA and a franchise superstar. Porzingis, on the other hand, can't stay healthy, forced to miss the Mavs-Clippers series after Game 3, didn't opt to get surgery until much later after the season's over, making him unavailable to start this season. A negative start for him. The Denver Nuggets, will Michael Porter Jr. and Bobo make a big leap to being borderline all-star and productive players? MPJ played a ton of minutes and made big plays throughout the 2020 postseason, especially against the Clippers. Bobo looking sharp at practice and eligible to win Rookie of the Year. Will those guys be the true third and fourth option after the loss of Jerian Grant, Torrey Craig, and Mason Plumlee? The Detroit Pistons, do they have a real plan? The most confusing team in the association, stuck in no man's land. It was shocking they didn't trade Derrick Rose, stuck with Blake Griffin's fat contract, being injury prone. Signing a bunch of big men doesn't make any sense. The weirdest roster, no idea what the future has in store. One thing I know, I guarantee they won't make the 2021 playoffs. The Golden State Warriors, who the heck would step up to back up Steph Curry? The Dubs got absolutely destroyed, abused, annihilated, and humiliated in their season opener to the Brooklyn Nets, and on Christmas Day to the Milwaukee Bucks in every way imaginable. Being 15 and 50 last season, James Wiseman will take a while. Kelly Oubre's not looking good. Andrew Maple Fraudin's an absolute travesty. Still plays with no heart, gives no effort. Warrior fans are already sick of him already. Has all the talent in the world, but no toughness, no excuses. Very disappointing. Wiggins' trade value will even collapse more after plenty more disgraceful performances. Houston Rockets, what are they going to do about James Harden, who's been an absolute distraction to the team, unprofessional, fined for violating league protocols? John Wall didn't sign up for this mess. The former MVP clearly wants out, only a matter of time, but who will they trade him for? Destinations includes Brooklyn, Philly, perhaps Portland, who knows? But will the team remain competitive? A messy direction for the future. The Indiana Pacers, do they have enough to make it past the first round of the playoffs? Since the 2016 season, it's been one and done for the franchise. 5 straight first round exits and counting. They have good players in Brogdon, a question mark Oladipo, TJ Ward, and Domantas Sabonis. Miles Turner's name keeps appearing in trade rumors, but still on the roster. Teams like the Heat, Nets, Celtics, and Bucks are still better. It'll be more than likely Pacers get the 5th seed and bounce in round 1 again. The Los Angeles Clippers, will Paul George actually play like a top 10, top 15 player? Better yet, is this the year the franchise finally gets past the second round? The Clippers still have plenty of flaws. No true leader, no playmaker. They are one of the most talented teams in the league, but are they actually going to keep their heads straight and not blow another 3-1 lead? There is no excuses for the franchise to not go far in the postseason. Paul George needs to step up in the postseason and leave pandemic P in the past. The Los Angeles Lakers, are they actually better than 2020? They are deeper and have a better bench with Schroeder, Harrell, Horton Tucker, but LeBron's 36 years old. Will he still be as dominant in past years? The most durable athlete in the sport, only 2-month rest after the 2020 championship. The question remains, will James show any signs of fatigue? Year 18, a tall mission to climb no matter how great you are. The Memphis Grizzlies, do they have enough to make the playoffs? A game away last season, lost to Portland in the play-in. John Moran, franchise star, Jared Jackson Jr., second option, Dillon Brooks, a good enough third option in the West? We're about to find out. Valanciunas and Kyle Anderson, the other starters. On paper, this team don't appear to be playoff caliber just yet, but after Morant's 44-point second season debut, anything's possible. The Miami Heat, what's plan B after not being able to get Giannis? Flexible in the cap, plenty of decisions to make, unpredictable, still have Dragic and Avery Bradley. It'll be unlikely they trade for Harden. A tougher road this season to make back the finals now that a few teams in the East got better. The Milwaukee Bucks, will Giannis actually show up and play like the 2-time MVP he is in the later rounds of the playoffs? Inexcusable for the back-to-back MVP, getting outplayed by Kawhi Leonard in 2019, Jimmy Butler in 2020. Coach Bus needs to give Giannis his minutes. Antetokounmpo must prove he is worthy if he ever wants to be considered the best player in the NBA. The Minnesota Timberwolves, will Karl Towns demand a trade? Going 19-45 last season, ranked in the bottom 10 in both efficiency categories. Anthony Edwards comes off the bench, lost 18 of the last 19 games with Cat last season. Ryan Saunders doesn't look like he's ready. The team needs to get off to a good start if they want to make the playoffs. The New Orleans Pelicans, can Zion stay healthy and play 35 minutes a game? First question. Second question, what's the future of Alonzo Ball? Ingram got his money and a proven star. Zoe's still shaky, hesitant to shoot the ball, while social media superstar Zion needs to show he can be on the floor, play regular minutes without any worries. Stan Van Gundy needs to do a better job on team defense, unlike Alvin Gentry. New York Knicks, too many questions to ask for the struggling franchise. RJ Barrett appears to be the franchise star going forward. The team got plenty of point guard issues, random pieces that won't win many games. So I'm gonna say the biggest question, where will they land in the 2021 lottery? Will they get the 8 pick like always, or improve, get the 11-12 pick? Highly unlikely, or a top 5 pick. Tom Thibodeau will have his hands full and has to decide who he gives the minutes to. The OKC Thunder, what's their goal in 2021? All those draft picks in the future, the team won't be good anyway. Trading away their key vets, George Hill, SGA, Al Horford, and Lou Dort will still win some games. The team won't be relevant for the next year to say the least. The Orlando Magic, which player will make the biggest improvement? If Nikola Vucevic continues to be the best player on the roster, they either make the 8th seed again, win game 1 of the playoffs, lose the next 4, or not even make the postseason at all. Markelle Fultz and Jonathan Isaac got contract extensions. Aaron Gordon remains a disappointment. Team has no chance anyway. anyway. The Philadelphia 76ers. Will the roster work between Simmons and Embiid? Back in 2018, the lineup of Simmons, Redick, Covington, Saric, and Embiid put to good use. Now Steph Curry, Danny Green, and Harris should keep the Sixers competing in the West. No excuses for Simmons not to shoot. Embiid needs to stay healthy and hungry. The Phoenix Suns. Will Devin Booker become an MVP candidate? Projected to be a mid-playoff seed, anything short of a postseason berth would be a failure of a season. So close last season. D-Book, one of the best pure scorers in the league. CP3 should help Ayton's game grow as well. The team's future is now. The Portland Trailblazers. Will Zach Collins stay healthy? The team's deep now with Dame and CJ. Nurkic looks sharp after injury. Robert Covington a good add, but Collins, the power forward / center, always hurt, can stretch the floor and switchable, solid on D, 11 games in the 2020 season, playing for a contract year, 7 points a game isn't cutting it. The team should be between the 3 to 7 seed. The Sacramento Kings, a joke of a franchise. We will soon see what Marvin Bagley the Dirt's capable of. Injury prone and banged up, Kings fans are disgusted. He was picked over Luka. He don't want to end up like the Sam Bowie picked ahead of Michael Jordan label. Empty stats on a bad team. Needs to validate himself, hasn't shown consistency, yet to be good on defense. Many believe he don't even deserve to be on the rotation, but time will tell. The San Antonio Spurs, will they trade their vets? No playoffs last season. DeRozan and Aldridge still solid and good players, but won't be any better than last season. Failed to make the playoffs. Pop's time is ticking. The franchise won't be the same and likely not be competitive amongst the best teams for a while. The Toronto Raptors, will OG Anunoby become close to an all-star caliber player? He is on one of my most improved player candidates list. OG shown flashes of offensive brilliance, solid outside shooter and good defender. Losing Ibaka and Gasol will hurt, but as long as OG gets better, the team should still win many games. The Utah Jazz, will they actually advance past the first round? Same team, Gobert a fat $205 million contract, too much for a guy who's an offensive liability in close games. Thank God he's playing in this era. Now with Derek Favors back on the team, Utah will be better on the board, but Conley hasn't looked the same and getting older. Another first round exit would be a disappointment. The Washington Wizards, will Russell Westbrook be a better fit than John Wall and Bradley Beal? Many questions left to be desired. Russ already 32, still relentless. His poor shot selection can hold the team back. Beal will need to take most of the shots and be the closer down the stretch. If Russ declines, it wouldn't be good for the franchise. Anything but a playoff appearance would be unacceptable. Those were the biggest questions from every NBA team heading into 2021. Thank you so much for watching this video. More good stuff coming soon. I love all of you. See you next time.